listen, in our long career of being influencers in the public sphere, we've been swatted several times.
Yep.
People say, "Hey, I killed my wife and kids, and I'm in the closet, and I'm gonna kill myself."
And I put bombs around the house.
It's usually something like that, and then the helicopters come, fire trucks come, police come. I remember it happened where they went around the perimeter of our house and Shredder got out. It was so scary. That part was so scary. We weren't there at the time. We've also had the FBI come to our house, actually, at this point, several times. One of them being to tell us not to open any packages until
further notice.
Until further notice. Yeah. Those were all, I'm pretty sure, from more like on the right side of anti-Semitism, Nazi-adjacent types of shit. And we knew that because one of the guys who doxed us, I was getting letters from the Department of Justice for like an entire year updating me on this guy's case.
Yeah.
Who's a member of, what's happening?
He's fixing my camera, I think.
Oh, okay. I forget what, he was part of some neo-Nazi gang that was actually responsible for like assassinating people for real. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget the name, but it was like a real.
Yeah, there's
a name and a face.
So that's what we've been through. Although I'll say this morning, we after all these years, still getting new experiences. This morning we got a visit from Child Protective Services. Because I told this story on the show a few weeks ago about how when we adopted Olive, she had Giardia, and then the next day, Sonny started having diarrhea, so we suspected he might have Giardia, seeing as that he's an infant, he's crawling around, he's putting everything in his mouth, etc. Makes sense, right? It's obvious. So it turned into this whole snark narrative that our house is a mess, that there's dog shit everywhere, that Sonny is eating shit and getting Giardia, and that, et cetera, et cetera. And well, it culminated in somebody finally, an anonymous call went into them on the 3rd, saying that they were somebody that works at the house. And they wanted to report us because our kids are crawling around eating dog shit and getting viruses. And they were able to provide enough details because of what I said on the show to make it appear that it was somebody. He said, like, when he first showed up, he's like, it's somebody that you know who made the report. And I'm like, no, okay. So, I mean, they used, I mean, yeah, you could easily impersonate.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
What's truly like despicable to me is the fact that like you hear so often that CPS like that they're not always.
They're underfunded.
Yes, and also it always like seeps through the cracks for some reason.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they were so on it here, it's like that could have gone to a family that really needed it and a child that really needed to be saved. Like
I was pretty surprised. I mean, one anonymous call. I was like, that's all it takes. But I guess the thing is, he was like, we thought it was someone who.
Yeah. I can't imagine how scary.
The guy was very nice. He was a very professional, a nice young guy, very nice. At first, he's not from our world. He doesn't understand. And I tried to explain, like, this is part of this harassment campaign. We've been visited by the FBI. We've been swatted, this and that. And we talked for a while. He gets it. But there's certain things that I guess he has to do. So he looked all, I mean, you walked around with him. I was upset about the whole thing.
Well, yeah. I was very upset as well.
He
wanted to look at everything.
Well, the house is spotless.
He was checking the house and like, where do the dogs go potty? Because we heard that there's poop on the floor.
The house is spotless.
Our house is so clean.
And also, we literally installed this huge outdoor I don't know how you call it. It's like a huge outdoor area connected
We
to a
did
doggy
like
door.
yeah, because we live in an area where there are coyotes, and we did fence our house like really well. They don't really get in the
haven't seen
backyard,
it,
but for our own peace of mind, we
Yeah.
wouldn't let the dogs out unsupervised.
Hell
So-
no, in the middle of the night, especially if we're
Especially in the middle of the night. So we set up a doggy door for them that once you exit it, you are in a totally enclosed, like a huge cage. It's not like a small cage. It's like a room.
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of.
everybody in our house is very privileged, including the dogs and the kids. So I showed him like, yeah,
They have
we
access.
take them out. They
have
have a
access
giant
24/7.
backyard, and then they even have this enclosure that we built just for them so they can go out safely at night. Then I showed him the kids' rooms, and he's like, "Oh yeah, lots of toys," and I'm like, "Yep, lots of toys." Then
dog shit anywhere
he wanted
so
to
far.
see Sunny. I went to show him Sunny, and he fucking woke up Sunny that was taking a nap.
He did on accident.
Not on purpose, but he wanted to take a look. And Sunny is
that.
like, they sense everything.
Yeah.
The babies can sense. And it's like, what the fuck is this stranger staring at me in my room? We looked at Sunny, then they wanted to talk to our nanny and ask questions. Who feeds the kids? Who takes care of them? Who takes them to school? And like,
What do you do when you get angry at your kids?
yeah, what do you
What do you
when
do
get
when a dog
angry?
poops on the floor? And then the part that, in my opinion, crossed the line was like, so I'm going to visit your kids at school and ask them questions. And I says, you're not fucking doing that.
No,
I mean, we
that's-
both were like, that's not happening. You're not
No.
going.
Terrifying.
You are not doing that. So he agreed to come visit our
Come back
house
next week.
when the kids are at home because he needs to fucking interview our kids as a matter of procedure.
But I was like, I really don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him, if you want to come, and I'm going to tell them that you're our friend, and I'm going to be there, and you can ask them question as our friend, we can do that. But like, anything beyond that is not happening.
I do want to clarify that guy was very nice and understanding.
The guy was nice. I have no problem
He's
with
just
the
doing
guy.
his job, you know, but, like-
it's not related.
it's kind of hard to believe that one anonymous tip can result in this fucking
One
a
anonymous
massive waste-
call.
One
call.
massive waste of time and resources from a vitally underfunded, understaffed, overworked department that does really important work. And
But then you hear about stories, people that actually need the help and they don't get it.
that's what Olivia was saying. Yeah.
So frequently.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I don't know. But I mean, at what point is it like, and this is something, if you go on Reddit and you go on the snarks, this is something, and the new snark that they all migrated to is completely unmoderated. This is something that this is a narrative that they've picked up and talk about all the time. And I just wonder at what point, I think Reddit is just waiting for me to kill myself. I genuinely, I don't
Yeah.
know what it takes. And I think if,
That is what it takes. Somebody eventually will do that, and then they'll be like, "Oh no, there's this phenomenon
we had
called
no
snark
idea.
pages."
We had no idea.
And then the journalist will write about it,
The
and they'll be
fucking
like,
journalists, by
"Can
the
you
way.
believe this phenomena of snark pages?"
The same people who are like, Ethan
Yeah.
Klein is actually in a state of psychosis.
Yeah.
He says that nobody's ever been harassed like him in the history of the internet. And actually, I'm going to interview the mods of these snark subreddits and also and characterize them as heroes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do. Like, at a certain point, I just really don't understand. Again, Trisha's subreddit was ruining her life, or the snark one.
Yeah.
It was super toxic there, and she got it removed fairly easily.
You know what I would like to say too is that, like, if she actually cared about us and about other parents and children, she would tell her friends to back off. Because to me, a lot of these people are her fans. It started as Frenemies 3 for the people that remember. There was Frenemies, then there was Frenemies 2, then Frenemies
Right, I
3
forgot about all that.
was like the latest snark page. Then it became
Hey, man.
it
Shout
had
out to Frenemies 12, by the way.
a rebrand to
Oh, yeah,
H.
that was a real one. They went
It
all the way
became
up to 12.
H3 Snark. And then Israel-Palestine happened, and they took this like, oh, okay, actually we can pretend that we actually care about Israel-Palestine, and that's our new cause. But
Despite
I'm
the-
pretty sure a lot of
or
those
this-
people are from Trisha's days, and then they also like combined with Hassan, so it became this like axis.
Yeah, before
all
October
these
7th, it
people?
was like pretty much just a collective of really deranged weirdos that nobody took seriously.
Yeah.
And then after October 7th, it really took off. And it started going mainstream when people like Hassan and other people in the world started citing it and calling it out. And people like Adam McIntyre who were like, I respect Snark.
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
doing good work.
That's
And
exactly like
Ethan-
what's frustrating me with the whole internet right now is how everybody's such a hypocrite. And when they want, they can cite the Snark like some actual source. And then when it doesn't fit the narrative, then, you know, they'll say whatever. But yeah, I'll even ask Trisha, why don't you say something to your fans? I haven't seen her say anything, but I know how she knows how it feels. She was saying she was suicidal.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm not exactly sure how she got hers down. I've heard it.
I mean, she was saying she was suicidal. Probably that's how.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not cynical enough to lie about being suicidal like she is, but at a certain point, you know, it's like
And I mean, when she was on the show, she talked about how she loves following the Vlog Squad and
that's
like
true.
following all their dramas, and she checks the Reddit all day long. I'm sure
she
she
did
does
say
it with
that.
H3 Snark.
No, yeah, I'm sure that
I'm
her
sure
and
she
Moses,
does.
and
So
Moses
for everybody
especially.
that loves Trisha's new arc and loves to parade her,
Well, what I don't understand is all
I'm
this-
sure that's what she does. She's on Snark every day, probably. If she actually didn't like what they were doing, she would tell something to her friends to stop it.
Well, I actually at first didn't even think that it was Trisha fans. I was like, this is too deranged. Like it's been a long time. I doubt these are Trisha fans. It seems like too political. And then through our research and our informants found out that the two main snarkers are Trisha mega fans.
Yeah, and that was a confirmation for me. I thought it was for a long time. I knew it was actually because I remember it was Frenemies 3. That's where it started. It originated from those people.
You're right about that.
We never
yeah.
had a Snark before. There was never such a thing.
So, and
And to anybody that has a problem with my opinion, that is my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion based on my experience with Trisha, with Frenemies, and with everything and whatever the fuck I'm going through. That is my opinion. You can disagree. You can think whatever you want.
I don't think you said anything that bad. I mean, I accused her of lying about
And
being infertile.
and I know that some people had opinions about that, and I think you're entitled to your opinion too.
Yeah, but
Opinions are opinions.
I have a very
They're based on
informed
our
opinion.
personal experience and what we're going through.
I mean, listen, if you want someone's opinion about Trisha and Moses, I don't think there's anyone more informed to talk about them than me. You know, but anyway, listen. The ironic part about it being Trisha fans is that they've really adopted the whole genocide narrative.
Yes.
They found that was like the most effective
And
way.
that's the next thing that drives me so crazy. Because, like, if that's actually your cause, but you have no problem with Trisha and Moses, then what the fuck? What the fuck? She showed up to our holiday dinner dressed in IDF costume, and you're okay with that?
I mean, she's also done stuff on video where she's like, "We don't care about Palestinians. We're full Jew. We're full Israel all the way." And
And
and you want to talk about Ehud being a secretary? Moses was he was served in a combat position in the fucking Air Force.
And I don't have a problem with what he did.
No, not
But
at
you
all.
should, apparently. That's my point. Apparently, you should have a problem. But you guys, some of you guys, a good portion of you are Trisha fans. So you just found a new cause to pretend that you care about.
Well, the unfortunate thing has been picked up now by Hassan and
And that's
people
my
in
next
his orbit.
problem.
Yeah,
Is that people like Hassan will cite the Snark like it's an actual source for something.
yeah. No, they do.
I
all
swear
the time.
the whole world has gone crazy.
Well, while simultaneously, Hassan's someone who's like, crying to live stream fails moderators to,
Yeah.
you can't, I'm being harassed. You have to remove me. Don't talk about me. The Reddit they're obsessed over me. And it's so unfair. And it's like, nobody gives a fuck. But someone like Adam, especially, who's like on record being like, I respect Snark.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear. That guy is a piece of shit, like of the lowest order. I never even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that. I was disgusted
actually,
by that statement too.
Isn't he
but now
now-
he's back on Trisha's
Yeah, he's
side.
trying to buddy up. I think he's trying to get on
Yeah,
Jones.
now he's back on her side. But I remember
never
when
said
he
I-
called her kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything.
and
like
I was
that.
supposed to be like cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's
Why
disgusting.
do we forget that he called her children, which is something we would never do, the spawn
Never.
of Satan?
It's disgusting. He's
And
a
I
piece
mean,
of shit of a human.
it's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.